even start? Let's get comfortable. Rolling! I've had a lot of questions on social media with friends, family, just about where I've been, why I haven't been posting as much. I've been sick in bed, I've been back and forth to the hospital. It's really hard to acknowledge or finally come to the realization that you are really sick and that you've been misdiagnosed. Let's go back to the beginning. If I'm ever looking down, it's just because I kind of wrote down everything and all the events that have happened, so I kind of don't go out of chronological order, and so I'm not like regressing, digressing, kind of like moving all over the place with the story. So let's start. On my birthday, September 6th, I turned 25. Woo! Great time. I went to the Distillery District. I had an audition in the morning, yoga with goats with my mom and my sister, and it was really fun, but I was feeling super tired and drained, and I didn't know why. I slept well the night before, I've been sleeping well. Then the next day I went and tried to have a workout, and I could not get through my workout. I had a bunch of clients, and then I went to the gym, and I couldn't finish my workout. I was just exhausted. That whole weekend I was working a trade show event. Monday night I just like totally crashed, and that whole week starting on Monday night I was in bed like sleeping. I had the chills, I was freezing, I had like a terrible fever, I couldn't eat, I would get up just to literally like go to the bathroom and get water, and that was it. I just like have a flu and I just gotta get over it, and that's that, but it wouldn't go away. So I think it was about day 6 or day 7 of this going on, and finally I went to the clinic. I did the whole peeing in a cup, blood tests, everything, and they were like, well, we don't see anything, so if you're still not feeling well in 3 days, go to the hospital. So of course, 3 days later, I go to the hospital. Again, they do all these tests. They do like a chest x-ray, they take blood, they do a blood culture, pee in a cup, everything. Coming back to me like 6 hours later, of course, because Emerge is not fast. And they say, yeah, you just have a bad flu, like we didn't find anything, and I'm like, oh, great, like I just wasted so much time. I could have just been in bed this whole time just like trying to get better. So since I kind of took that as a sign, like, you're not sick, you're fine, so you need to just like suck it up and get back to work. So called up my clients, tried to go back to work. I brought a pillow with me because I was still so tired and not feeling the best, and I would just sleep in my car in between clients. Yes, it's a glamorous life. 3 days later, the hospital calls me and says, we found something in your blood culture, you need to come back right away and we need to retest you. So I was like, okay, that's weird. Go to the hospital, the doctor sees me and he says, what we found in your blood is pretty rare for somebody that's young, healthy, active, so you would look way sicker if you actually have what we think you have. Okay, so he retests my blood. 2 days later, the hospital calls me again, and I'm still working because I'm like still pushing myself to go back to work because I'm like, oh, I just have this weird thing and I'm just being a baby and I'm really not that bad. Like I have no idea. So they call me back and they say, you need to come in right away. We need to give you some antibiotics. I was like, okay, they're just gonna write me a prescription for antibiotics and I'm gonna be on my way. So I'm taking my time. I went to go get physio with Randy. Shout out to Randy, he's the best physio ever. He worked on my back and it didn't work. Like it did not help. Like my back was still killing me. So he was like, okay, well that would have worked. So maybe there's something wrong, like there's something going on with you. That didn't help, which is really weird. So I went back to the hospital. They put me on antibiotics, IV right away. And I was like, whoa, like IV, what? Like this is crazy. And he's like, yeah, you need to do 24-hour doses of antibiotics. You need to come back every single day at this time to get this dose. It's gonna make you tired, it's gonna make you nauseous, and like all this stuff. And I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, so I'm sick? Like what? And they're like, yeah, you have staph in your blood. And I was like, oh, super. Pardon? Like what is that? Like what's going on? To my knowledge, it was going to be 4 days of antibiotics through intravenous, going back and forth to the hospital. So I did that, and then they said, okay, you're gonna do a follow-up with one of the doctors, and she might put it back in, she might not, like everything might be fine. So I went and I did the 4 days, and then they took the intravenous out, and I was like, woohoo, I'm cured, I'm fine, everything's great. rewind for a minute, I also had some serious back pain that I was feeling while I was sick, and I wasn't sure if it's just because I'm not used to lying in bed for that long. So this is week 3 now, and I'm finally seeing the internal medicine doctor. So I finally tell her how I'm feeling. She knows everything that's going on. She orders 2 more weeks of the IV. So then that's when I got a pump and a bag of IV so I could at least walk around while this is all happening. So just picture me with a little bag with a pump in it, with IV in it, with like a tube going into my arm, into the intravenous every 8 hours for an hour. Pumps going off, making noise. So finally she listened to me. So this is 3 weeks into this whole situation of having the bacterial infection in my blood. And she orders a MRI because I'm still complaining of some back pain. So they do the MRI. This is on like a Wednesday, and I hear back from them by Thursday, and my parents are like, yeah, they found it, and now the infection has spread into your bones. So that's a little freaky to hear. It's in your back and it's creating like little cysts, and it's like kind of making a new home like in your spine. Now that they finally know that it's in my bones, meet the infectious disease specialist, and he was amazing. But one of the things he said to me right off the bat was, if I saw you when you first came in, you would have been hospitalized, no question. So that kind of is crazy just to think about how serious it was and how it wasn't being taken seriously at the beginning. And now he just ordered 8 more weeks of the IV. 8 more weeks of this bag and this IV being hooked up, and he's like, you can't be working out, you can't be lifting, you need to be in bed, you can't do anything pretty much. So I'm just sitting there like taking this all in, and I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even know what to do. It's just like so surreal. And then he leans in and touches my arm and goes, do you understand that you could have died from this? And I was like, he's like, can I tell you that? And I was like, oh, well, you just did tell me that, so I guess you can. So this is when it really was confirmed that like you are sick and you can't move and you can't do anything. Like, it's in your bones, it needs to heal. You need to just rest and sleep and let your body pretty much do what it's been telling you to do this whole time, because you've been exhausted, you've been tired, and it was so much to handle at once. Oh, and also when the doctor told me that I could have died, he ordered a PICC line right away. So a PICC line is also not very fun, but it helps get the antibiotics into you quicker. So it goes into your bicep. You can still kind of see my little hole. So it's a tube that goes into your bicep, and they kind of like snake it through across your chest into your heart. Just like unhook it and hook it into this thing, and it just goes directly in. So I had one of those for 3 weeks, and then I started getting complications with it, and it started getting kind of gross at the site, and my arm was swelling, and it wasn't good. The infectious disease specialist told me to call him if anything out of the ordinary, if it wasn't feeling well, if something was like looking weird. So I called him, told him, I went in, and then that's when he kind of freaked out, and he said, you shouldn't be getting something like this. Like, if it's another infection, you're already fighting an infection, and you shouldn't be getting another one. So of course, that's when I got admitted to the hospital. So I was in the hospital for 4 nights. It was only supposed to be 3 nights. So keep in mind, I was already mentally prepared for 3 nights in the hospital, and then it became 4 because I was waiting to get another PICC line in. This is just a lot. So had a PICC line in this arm, waited 3 weeks, it got infected, it got all gross. They took it out, tested it, everything was fine, but I got a blood clot in this arm because of the PICC line. So they had to take that out. Now I'm on blood thinners. So I'm in the hospital, I'm on blood thinners, and I'm waiting to get the PICC line back in this arm so I can get my medication, because I still have another 3 weeks of medication at this point. So finally, I'm supposed to be getting my PICC line on Monday. Of course, they run out of spots, so I'm stuck in the hospital again for another day, but I still had to be there because they had to give me the blood thinners at a special time with a special needle and all the stuff that I couldn't do at home. They were giving me the antibiotics that I needed every 8 hours, so they were taking care of me. But this is when I kind of like got upset because I didn't want to be another night in the hospital. Like 4 nights in the hospital, like, we're all good now. Got my PICC line in. my arm is like super bruised and swollen because of the blood thinners, because there's just more bleeding and there's more bruising with blood thinners, so that's fun. But now I have blood thinner pills as well, so I'm good to go home. I finally leave the hospital at like 12 on the Tuesday. P.S. If you ever get blood thinners through a needle, it is the worst pain ever. Out of all of this, out of being poked so many times with the IV and getting blood taken and all that stuff, it was not nearly as painful as this. It's the tiniest little needle, but they like grab your skin, they like grab it like this, and then they like stick it in, and it hurts so much, and it like burns. Oh my god. So side note, first time that I got the PICC line in my left arm, I was fine after 3 days. Like, it feels like nothing's even there, everything's good, like your arm is moving fine again, like you don't even feel it. But with this second PICC line, it was hurting by the Friday. So I left on the Tuesday. By the Friday, I was already back in Emerge. My arm was swollen. I had pain all the way down to my wrist, up into my neck. So went to Emerge, 11 o'clock at night. They looked at it, they said it wasn't good. So we ordered an ultrasound for the Saturday morning. Went home, came back the Saturday morning, had the ultrasound on this arm. They found another blood clot. So now we got 2 blood clots, one in this arm, one in the other arm, while I'm on blood thinners. So that's when I just kind of like, shit just hit the fan. Like, this is just something extra that wasn't supposed to be happening to me. The PICC line was just supposed to help the antibiotics get into my system for the staph infection that's in my blood already. And now I have 2 blood clots. So yeah, you can imagine my frustration, because now I'm on blood thinners for 3 months to get rid of blood clots, and there's a lot of side effects to blood thinners. And they're super freaking expensive. I didn't ask for these blood clots. I didn't ask for them. So why do I have to pay like 350 bucks? Yeah, that's how expensive they were. So yeah, that's my life at this point. Now I got no PICC lines because my body is just rejecting that idea. My arms are like itchy and swollen because that's the side effects of like antibiotics or the PICC line in my body. So like both my arms were just like rashy, and that's just like not a good scene. Even through all of this, the positive is that my antibiotics didn't get thrown off, so I was still done when I was supposed to be done. So I only had the 3 more weeks of antibiotics, so they just did it through intravenous. But it just sucks that the PICC line didn't work out, because it's so much easier to just change the tubing and get your antibiotics in, because it's just going straight into your bloodstream, like straight to your heart. Whereas intravenous is like a needle, and it always can like move and come out and pop out, and you can pull it out. Like, it's just a nightmare. So that's kind of what I had to deal with for the last 3 weeks. Instead of just having, of course, the easy way, I had to have it the hard way. And then I'd be trying to go to clients and trying to go to meetings and just move on with life, and it would break, or it would move, or it would hurt, or it'd be swollen, or the tube would break, and I would have to go immediately to get it fixed because I can't miss my next dose of medication. And it was just like, like, of course this is happening. Like, why can't life be easy? It can never just be easy. But now, as you can see, I've got no tubes in me. I'm all good. I just have medication that I have to take right now. So I have to take these pills now 4 times a day for a month. And when I went to the pharmacy, she was like, oh my god, if you're taking this much antibiotic, you need to be taking a probiotic. So she gave me like the best probiotic. It's in the kitchen though, but I'll share like a link below of like what it is so you can take a look at it. But she said it's the best one for the amount of antibiotic I'm putting into my body, because it's really bad for like your gut health and your stomach and everything. So she really helped me out with that. And I'm also on some blood thinners, these little guys. So all last week I did an MRI, a bone scan, a bone gallium, ultrasound on both my arms to see how the blood clots are doing, and everything came back like really positive. So the bone gallium and the bone scan are pretty much just like the same thing. Like, they just give you a different kind of isotope. So they would just use my IV site and like inject this like dye into me. So the bone scan, you literally wait 2 hours, come back and get the scan for an hour. And then the bone gallium, right after the bone scan, they gave me another kind of isotope. It takes 3 days to I guess, absorb into your system to show a different kind of scan. So then I came back 3 days later for that, and then did the MRI and the ultrasounds, and I finally got all the results back from the doctors this week, and they said the blood clot's gone in this arm and there's still a little bit left in this arm, so that's really, really good news, but I wish it was gone, of course. The MRI and bone scans showed like massive improvement, like he said, remarkable improvement, so it's still not gone yet. And I asked about like working out or physical activity, and he said to just don't push it, don't do it, like let your body heal. Like, the infection, like let it heal, let it get completely out of your system, and your body has been through a lot, and just don't push it too soon. There's honestly so much more to the story, but that's the gist of everything. So yeah, that's my story for the past 3 months, and I have another month of antibiotics, and hopefully it'll be all gone. I just want to give a special thank you to all my family and friends that have reached out daily, weekly, monthly, just checking in on me, sending me flowers and emails, text messages, even really cute little cards in the mail that just really brighten my day, because it just shows that like you care so much, and you really can tell who your real friends are in these moments. I just want to say thank you so much for all the support. I've just kind of taken this time to focus on other things, and that life just isn't about like working out and training, but I've been able to just focus a lot more on my online clients and develop like a better online presence and learn more about marketing, and just literally learn like just more about things that I've wanted to for so long. So being kind of stuck in bed in this room hasn't been so bad. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. I appreciate you. Please make sure to like this and hit subscribe to my channel, and I promise more videos won't be like this. Thank you so much. Love you so much. Appreciate you. Have a great day.